welcome to your Vinyasa practice. We will get right into it today. We'll start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together and letting the knees fall out to the sides. You can support the outer edges of the knees if you like with something like a block, pillows, or blankets. You need to grab any of that stuff if you want to grab any of that stuff. Go ahead and meet me on your mat. So we'll explore the hips today in this multifaceted way. So the hips are not just the outer thighs or the inner thighs, but that whole 360-degree circumference of the upper leg in which it inserts into your pelvic bowl. So we'll kind of play with that range of motion, the strength, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. We've been kind of focusing on upper body, so today we'll focus more on hips. Let's just take a few moments here to check in with ourselves. So I like to, when I'm starting out in Supta Baddha Konasana, place the hands on the low belly and really bring my awareness down into the diaphragmatic breath. With the hands on the low belly, I can feel that tangible breath in and breath out. Just a few rounds of breath here. Twice more. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more time. Good. So we'll add on a little bit of movement. So we'll bend the knees. We'll keep the knees bent rather, and plant the feet, and let your feet be planted pretty wide. So maybe it's the width of your yoga mat. From here, anything you want with your arms. Maybe they stay at the belly. Maybe they stretch out to the sides, or you can make like a cactus shape. You'll just start to take the knees off to the left and the knees off to the right. So you're kind of exploring this internal and external rotation of the hip joint. And of course, anytime we work with the hips, we're also working with the pelvis, the knees. Everything's connected. The body is a system. So you might notice how this feels throughout the rest of the body. A few more times, left and right. And then we'll start to hug the knees into the chest. You can rock a little bit side to side. That might feel nice on the low back. And from here we'll come to happy baby. So you can grab anywhere along the backs of the legs or the soles of the feet. What I like, here's how I would suggest making that decision. Whatever keeps your shoulders grounded, the back of your head relaxed, and your neck neutral. So if you can do that by grabbing the feet, great, grab the feet. If you need to grab somewhere lower on the legs, like calves or backs of knees, grab lower. So you're letting your knees fall wide, like towards the armpits. It's like the thighs are kind of framing out the ribs. A few breaths here. Two more. Deep belly breath, diaphragmatic breathing. And then any way you like, we'll make our way into hands and knees. You can rock the length of your mat if you prefer something more, less active. You can just roll off to a side. And meet me in hands and knees. So from hands and knees, we'll continue this rotation of hips. We'll start with that left leg. So keeping the knee bent, press the left foot up towards the ceiling. All right, so it's like you could stamp the sole of your foot onto the ceiling. And then take that left knee out to the side and then roll the left knee back towards the mat. So it's like you're drawing a circle with that left knee. And just continue with those circles. So now we start to feel a little bit more of that fiery sensation around the joints and the bellies of the muscles. So we're starting to build strength. Deep breath in, deep breath out, twice more on this side. Stay plugged into your left hand, all the weight's not rolling into the right hand, just check in with that. And then set that left knee down. Take a moment and center. Maybe one round of cat and cow to reset the spine. And then back to that neutral spine. So keeping your right knee bent, press that right foot up towards the ceiling. Take the right knee out to the side and then roll the right knee back down towards the mat, drawing that circle on the second side. Continue. And as you do, check in with your right hand. So notice that you're not rolling all of the weight into the left side body. Twice more. Right knee back into its place. Let's curl the toes under now. Walk the hands forward, maybe a hand print or two. Lift the hips up and back. And downward facing dog. So we'll take a few moments to explore down dog. If it feels good, bend the knees. You can move them right to left if that feels good. Maybe you shake your head out, yes and no. Get this sense that the chest is moving towards the thighs. The head gets to relax between the biceps. And the heel bones become heavy. Pause here, breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, shift forward, find high plank. And just settle into high plank for a few breaths. So really lengthening out through the body, heel bones back, crown of the head forward. Press into your hands, all 4 points of your hands, especially the thumb side of the palm. Deep breath in here. On your breath out, set your knees to the mat and come all the way onto the belly. And we'll take our hands underneath our forehead. Let your forehead rest on the backs of the hands. And your elbows are out wide. You're creating this little pillow for the head. This will be our starting position. From here, we'll lift the upper body away from the mat. That includes the arms, but keep them underneath the forehead. Then bend your knees, reach the arms back. Maybe you grab your outer ankles. If you're not quite warmed up enough for that yet, don't worry. Just reach back through your hands. Keep flexing your knees, pointing the toes towards the ceiling. And then make your way back to your starting position, so you're lengthening out through the legs. Let the forehead rest on the backs of the hands. Let's do that 3 more times with our breath. We'll lift up, inhale. Exhale to bend the knees and reach the arms back. Binding or not, doesn't matter. And then come back to your starting position. Let the forehead rest for a moment. Your next breath in, again, lift the upper body. Breath out, bend the knees, reach the arms back. Release, come back, forehead rest. One more time through. Inhale to begin. And then release out. Walk your palms underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Press up to hands and knees. And then make your way up and back, down dog. Settling into down dog. Reset the handprint, the footprint. Relax your head. Deep belly breath. Inhale, lift the heels, slight bend in the knees. Walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Coming into Uttanasana, we'll approach it similarly as downward facing dog, bending the knees, kind of exploring this. Be gentle with your back body. Option to sway right and left. You could grab your opposite elbows even. Check in with the back of the neck, so let the head be heavy. So we really get the opportunity to check in with the whole entire length of the back body, the whole posterior chain. Relax your hands down towards the floor and then crawl your fingertips up to the shins so you're coming into a halfway lift. And pause in your halfway lift. Really root down through your feet. Feel your navel hug up into your spine. Breath in. Breath out, refold, Uttanasana. This time as we press down into our feet, we'll reverse uncurl the spine so that the head comes up very last. And so eventually you'll arrive into Tadasana. Arms relaxing alongside the body. Shrug the shoulders up and down. Let's add on to our flow. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your way into downward facing dog. Pause and settle into down dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale your left leg. Sweep that left leg up and back. And we're going to draw these circles just like we did on our hands and knees, but now it's with the whole leg. So that left foot's going to sweep wide out to the side, and it might graze beyond the side of your yoga mat, and then sweep it back towards your right foot. Lift it back up. Left leg's just drawing these big, broad circles in down dog. Stay plugged into your right hand. Left hand, see if the shoulders can remain equanimous, so equal weight. One more big circle. And then sweep that left leg back up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, left foot forward between the hands. Let's find a low lunge here. Let your right knee rest. And then come to the top of the right foot. Maybe press into the top of the right foot, lift the right knee away from the floor. And you can press into your hands here. You can come up onto your fingertips if you need a little bit more space. You can also plant the palms flat if that works, or your arm length. Just lift and lower that right knee a few times. One more time to lift. Exhale, lower. Now let's move that left foot wide out to the side of the yoga mat and let it be parallel with the edge of your yoga mat. And then bring your hands, two hands inside of that left front foot. Curl your right toes under, lift your right knee, wiggle that right foot back so you have a really long and wide low lunge. From here, we'll lift the hips up and back, straighten out through that left leg. So it's like a modification of pyramid pose. You have wide legs and two straight legs. Inhale, shift forward, back to your low lunge. It's like you're in and out of this cat-cow kind of shape with the spine and bending and straightening that left leg. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Plant your palms, bend that left knee, step the left foot back into high plank. Pause in your high plank. Breathe in. On your breath out, you can come all the way down onto the belly with or without the help of the knees. We'll set up for low cobra. So shoulders away from the ears, squeeze your elbows into the side of the body, press down through the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower. Curling toes under. Press your way up to down dog with or without the help of the knees again. Always an option. Settle back into down dog. Find your breath. So same thing, second side on our inhale, right leg, sweep it up and back. And then sweep your right leg wide off to the side beyond the yoga mat. And then kind of draw that line back towards your left foot with the right foot. Sweep it back up. Big broad circles with the right leg. I kind of have to modify my circle if you're watching me for whatever reason, because my wall is right there. So make it work for you, your body, and the space you have. One more circle with that right leg. And then right leg back up. Breathe in. Breathing out, right leg forward. And just for a moment, set your left knee down. Come to the top of that left foot. You can be on your fingertips here, or if it works for your body, hands can be flat, doesn't really matter. Just start to lift and lower your left knee any amount. So we're just kind of working up, we're working with the ankle joint a little bit. Kind of waking up the top of the ankle. How does that feel across the front of the thigh, the front of the leg? One more lift and lower. Now curl those left toes under, lift the left knee, wiggle it back in space. Right foot moves wide towards the edge of your yoga mat, and keep that foot parallel with the edge of the yoga mat. You have a long, wide, low lunge. So from here, back up to pyramid, hips move back and up, right leg straightens. You can kind of round the upper back. Inhale, shift forward into that low lunge. Start to move this back and forth. A few more times. Back forward into your low lunge, pause there. Really root down through the palms of your hands. See if you can take that right foot back into high plank. Pause in your high plank. If you feel ready for chaturanga and up dog, feel free to take that. Otherwise, you can come all the way down onto the belly again, back bend of choice, or maybe low cobra. And then exhaling, maybe it's back to child's pose. Could be right up and back to down dog. We'll take 2 to 3 breath cycles here. All right, so from down dog, we'll walk the hands backwards now to meet the feet. So you'll be ending up in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Hands meet feet at the back of the mat. Root down through your feet. Reverse uncurl the spine until you come to standing. Shrug the shoulders up and then release them back down. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Exhale, fold all the way back in. Walk your hands back out into high plank, down dog. Let's stop at down dog. We'll move through our high plank after our flow. So, similar idea, but I'll give you some options to add on with our flow. Inhale, left leg up and back. We're going to draw 3 circles with that left leg. There's 1, 2, 3. Sweep that left leg back and up. And let that left ankle cross on top of the right heel. Cinch up your inner thighs, squeeze them tight, ankles stay connected, left ankle on top of right. Shift forward into high plank. We're going to roll to the left side for Vashistasana. So left hand is your base. And because your ankle is crossed, you're rolling to the inner edge of your right foot. Your right hand might roll up towards the ceiling, or if you want a little extra support, the right hand can stay braced down on the mat, right? Or reaching up towards the ceiling. You can always unwind that left knee and set it down for supported Vashistasana. That's totally fine too. Wherever you are, one more breath in. Breath out. Right hand down. Square the shoulders. Maybe the ankles are still crossed. Lift your hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, sweep that left leg high once more. Exhale, left leg forward. And this time right away, we'll take that wide low lunge. Left foot out to the outer side of your mat. 2 hands inside of your left foot. Lift your right knee. Move your hips up and back. It's like you're in pyramid pose. In this pyramid pose, see if you can curl the toes away from the mat, that left side. Maybe lift the sole of the foot away from the mat so you're on your left heel. Breath in. Breath out, set your left foot back down. Bend your left knee. Right knee to the mat. Sweep that left arm high. Okay, so from here, you can turn this into a bind and a twist. Well, this is already a twist, but you can add on to it by maybe bending that right knee and reaching left hand back to grab a hold of that right ankle. And I'm getting a cramp, so I'm not going to do that. And as always, I invite you to listen to your body. If that's what's going on for you, honor it. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Start to unwind, left palm back underneath the left shoulder, and step your way into high plank. From your high plank, pause and breathe. Make a conscious choice to either flow or rest. Remember, you can always modify your vinyasa. You can always skip it altogether. 2 to 3 breaths in child's pose or down dog. All right, second side, right leg, lift it up and back. Big circles with the right leg, just 3 times. So that's 3, 2, last one. And then sweeping that right leg high. Then cross that right ankle on top of left heel. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Keep that nice tight bind with the ankles. Shift forward to high plank. Now we're rolling to Vashistasana on the right side. If you're keeping that cross of the ankles, that means you're rolling to the inner edge of your left foot and your left arm can sweep high. You can also, again, unwind the legs and set the right knee to the mat. This is a great way to build strength and work up to that variation of Vashistasana. One more breath in. On your breath out, left hand comes down. Maybe your ankles are still crossed as you lift your hips up and back, down dog. And then inhale once more, we'll sweep that right leg high. Exhale, right foot forward. Wide stance with that right foot. Heel toe it out to the outer edge of the mat. Both hands inside of that right front foot. Shift the hips up and back. You're straightening out through that right leg. Now maybe the right toes peel away from the mat, or maybe the whole sole of the foot lifts and you're pressing down into your right heel. From here, you can curl your chin into your chest. You can kind of round the upper back. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, shift forward. Seal the sole of the right foot down. Bend the right knee. Lower the left knee to the mat. Left palm underneath the shoulder as the right arm sweeps up high. Okay, so this is option number 1. Stay here, feel free. Or bending the left knee, you can reach back and grab, maybe it's the outer ankle with the right hand. You can also find that internal rotation to grab the inner foot. But if you took this bind on the first side, try to remember which bind you took, right? So the hand on the outer foot or the inner foot, and choose that same rotation. One more breath in. Breath out. Start to unwind, right palm back underneath the shoulder. Make your way back into high plank. Option to move through one more Vinyasa here. And we'll meet in child's pose. So if you'd like to move through down dog once more, feel free when you're ready for child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead towards the mat. Few breaths. All right, so pull the heart forward from child's pose. Cross your ankles and then roll the hips over the feet. And we'll scoot your way onto the middle of our mat. Let's move through a few active back bends. Back bends are really great not only for the back, but the front of the thighs, the hip flexors, for opening up that part of the body. Okay. Oftentimes I think we get a little bit hyper-focused on the back bend itself and forget about how it translates through the rest of the body. So a few rounds of bridge. I'll give you the option of moving into Untitled if that's in your practice. Bridge pose first. Feet about hip width distance apart. Press down, lift up. And then the arms, maybe they walk. Shoulders kind of walk underneath you, so in towards the spine. You might interlace the fingers to the webbing. Press down through the pinky edges of the hands. Lift up a little bit higher with the hips. If you can, stay connected to your big toes. The inner edge of the foot. 2 deep breaths here. And then slowly start to release. If you had the bind underneath the back, release the arms. Set your tailbone back down. Okay, for our second back bend, you could take that back bend into wheel pose. You could take your hands alongside the head. Right, so fingertips are kind of pointing towards the shoulders, or if, like me, you like that wider external rotation of the hands, I have my fingertips pointing out to the sides of my mat. So from there, pressing up to the top of the head first, and then straightening out through your arms. I like to walk my feet forward so I get a nice lengthening across the front of the thighs. And then I even lift my heels up from there, so I kind of rock a little bit back and forth. That's if you're taking wheel pose. If not, second round of bridge is a really great place to work. If you're interlacing your fingers to the webbing, maybe it's the opposite thumb on top. If you're feeling strong in your bridge, you want to practice sweeping one foot up towards the ceiling, so you're now balancing on one foot. Maybe the left leg's reaching up or the right leg's reaching up. You can keep those hips nice and high. And set that one foot down, lift the opposite foot up if you want to try that. Okay, so if you lifted one leg, set both feet down. If you're still in wheel pose, begin to make your way out. From bridge, same thing, make your way out. Come to constructive rest, so let's bring the feet wide again on the mat. Knees are still bent, let your knees draw in towards one another. Maybe the hands come back to the belly, so we're kind of coming full circle now. We'll start to take the knees off to the left with feet wide. Then knees to the right, keep those feet wide. Pass the knees side to side a few times. And next time the knees move off to the left, pause there. If you want to slide any kind of props underneath the knees here, you can. You can also add on by taking this left ankle and resting it on top of the right thigh. the outer right thigh towards the knee. So for some of us, that's too much on the knee joint, and that's okay. Please just honor what your body is telling you. You can always back out. Wherever you are, 2 deep belly breaths. Maybe even place a hand on the low belly to be sure that the breath is moving all the way down. Big diaphragmatic belly breath. We'll make our way out of this side. Knees back up towards the ceiling, and then knees move off to the right side. Pausing here. Option to add on right ankle to the outer left thigh. We'll settle in here for a few breaths. Maybe one hand connects with the low belly. Fill your belly with air on the inhale. Let it all go on the exhale. One more round of breathing. And then we'll release. Really coming full circle now, I'll invite you, if you like, Shavasana, how we started in Supta Baddha Konasana. Knees out wide, soles of the feet together. Maybe the hands make the connection again with the low belly. If that's not feeling so good, on the hips, for whatever reason, just lengthen out on your back. Stretch the legs out long. You could also take legs up the wall. Let's close out our practice here. We'll take about 3 to 5 breaths in silence. If you have more time in your day, please feel free to stay as long as you can afford. If you need to move on, help your knees close. Roll off to a side, briefly into fetal position. Pressing into your hands, rise on up. Just take a moment to find a seat. Join your hands together at your heart. Bow your chin to your chest. Honoring your effort and your practice, and to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis.